In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto.
Question everything, trust nothing. It's your boy BlockchainCrusader here at Debate Crypto with the one and only Evan Aldo. How's it going, man?
Doing amazing, Loving these prices right now. How about you,
Yeah,
man?
dude. Dude. Super happy to have you on. Going to be the TA expert tonight for TA Thursday. So you know he's going to be bringing in the heat. Just for everybody joining in right now, smash the likes, drop a comment in the chats. You think we're going to be bullish or bearish on this upcoming breakout, guys? Drop a 1 if you think it's going to be bullish. Drop a 2 if you think it's going to be bearish. Also, if you have not shot us a follow on Twitter, Debate Crypto or Danger Close Alpha on Twitter. Come on, guys. What are you doing? You're missing out on the crazy stuff that's happening on Twitter right now. Danger Close Alpha. If you're not in the Discord, the link is pinned in the chat, guys. Join the Discord. Join the movement. Get prepared for whatever is coming. Don't miss out. Don't wait until it's too late. Victory favors the prepared. So, Evan, we're going to do a quick market overwatch real quick, see how these coins are doing today on CoinMarketCap, and then it's all you, man. Give me a second to pull this up real quick. And here we go. So let me refresh here real quick. Coin market cap, the market cap of crypto is 1.2 trillion right now. We're down 3%. Bitcoin is hanging out at that 29K level, down 22% on the 30, down 1% today, guys. So it's not terrible for the day. ETH under 1900. We're at 1800. We're dropped 6% today, 9% in the week. Could we be heading lower? Possibly, guys. I don't know. We got USDC and USD. US Tether has been fighting to regain that $1 peg for a while now. People are getting nervous out there. BNB down 5% today, down 19% of the 30. It was having a little pump recently, according to the against the grain, but looks like that's coming down as well. XRP down at 39 cents, down 2% today. We got Cardano down at 48, also down. The altcoins are feeling the pain today, guys. They're dropping a lot more than Bitcoin is, and that could be a sign of what is to come. Down 5%, down 8 on the week. Solana number 9, down to $43, 9%, 14 on the week, 75% year to date, guys. The pain in the altcoins is real. Dogecoin down 5%. Yeah, but whatever, it's Dogecoin. Polkadot 6% down below $10 at 9.26 right now, guys. So those are the top 10, top 11 altcoins, and the pain is being felt. And what do you think about that, Evan? What do you think about these altcoins and Bitcoin in general, and the sentiment of the market?
So there's a few things. It's an interesting market because obviously, a lot of us were not expecting the bear market to come so quickly. We were expecting a lengthened cycle theory to bring us out farther, and that didn't really happen. However, Bitcoin and everything basically bottomed out with the NASDAQ in 2018. So it kind of follows the traditional stock market a lot more now. And I'm thinking, and I'll show you on my charts, I got quite a few things to show you on my charts.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing that is following the stock market?
I think it's generally a good thing because it's easier to predict a little bit. And you got to realize, S&P 500 is hitting major fib levels right now. We have a few more months until midterms. I think there's going to be, they got a few things up their sleeves to bring us up. So we could rally up towards the end of the year, similar to what we saw in 2019. And on the charts, it looks very, very, very similar to the end of 2018, especially for Bitcoin. And it looks similar to our bear market at the end of 2014 into 2015. So if you wanted me to show the charts, I got quite a few things.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Dive into the charts.
Yeah, so the first thing I want to show you here, and let me get my trading view up. You should be able to see it, right?
Boom, there it is.
Okay, so the first thing I want to show you here is on my, this is going back all the way, and this is our monthly. So if you guys aren't too familiar with Market Cipher A, I kind of mapped out every time this is the different cycles. So this right here, where I'm pointing right now, this 66% correction is from our red X right here. So these red X's don't come that often in Market Cipher A. So we have a red X right here. This was the catalyst to the bottom of our bear market in 2014, 2015, 66% dump to the bottom. This is the same thing kind of in 2018, end of 2018 bear market, 55% down approximately. And now we got another red X right here. We had one right here, but I feel like this is kind of a fluke because of the pandemic dump, so I don't really count that too much. But historically, every time you got a red X and confirmed it, and this one confirms in about 5 days, it will confirm unless something crazy happens and we pump up to like over 42K or something in the next 5 days. Very unlikely, obviously. You could kind of guesstimate where we're going to end up by this. So 66%, 55%. Things over time get less volatile as market cap gets higher, institutions get in. That would make sense for kind of any successful asset. So we're already down approximately 37%. What I think is going to happen is we're going to come down a little bit more, maybe somewhere between 22 to 24K for kind of a double bottom pattern. And the other thing I want to show you too, right here, this is on the 2-week right now. So it's kind of a similar thing. Look at what I circled right here. These green dots that only come up every 4 years. This was the catalyst to the next bull run. This was bust bottoming out in February.
And what time frame is this? This is the 2-week time frame.
The 2-week, yeah. And then you could see this is market Cipher B right here. And right now it looks like we're gearing up. If you look at money flow, kind of the money flow on the 2-week right here, this was the bottom signalized, the next the bottom here in 2015. This one right here in January 2019. Look what happened. Started the next bull run. I mean, you had your pandemic there, but other than that, it would have been priced straight up pretty much. And right now, look at where money flow is. That's one thing. And this VWAP is curving up. So on market Cipher B, every time this VWAP curves up, this yellow line, and crosses this 0 line right here, you get a green dot. And what's going to most likely happen is, since this is lower here, you're most likely going to get a green dot with a double dot down here, which is even stronger. Also, the last thing I want to show you here for a long term. Go ahead.
Well, before we move on, so quickly, for the people that are watching, might not be a specialist in or know a lot about market Cipher, the green dot is good for the market.
Oh, yeah.
Correct?
The green dot is good, but what's even better is what I circled down here. As you can see, the green dot on the bottom. Look at this. This only comes up every
the double green dot.
Yeah, this double green dot. And it happens when you have a, look right here, you got a momentum wave that's below this white line right here, a low momentum wave. So most likely this one that's about to happen pretty soon could happen in the next few months, even the next few weeks in the best case scenario, could be the signal of a bottom and our next bull market to start.
Okay. Awesome. Sorry to cut you off, but hey, shout out to Frankie Candles in the chat, guys. Frankie, the Candle Mafia in the house. If you are not watching Frankie Candles at 5:45 to 7:30 every day at BitBoy's channel, you guys are missing out, guys. Go check out his TA. He's a pro. So yeah, man, go ahead, take it away. Keep on.
The last thing I want to show you, just a little bit more confluence here. Same thing on your weekly. This is the weekly time frame. Look at how the money flow is coming out here. So this is on market Cipher B, money flow coming out. This is money coming out, and this is the level we're at kind of right now. This is back in 2014. This signified the bottom right here. This green dot. It wasn't the exact bottom. You bottomed out a little bit before, but it signified the next bull run starting. Same thing in December 2018. You got that dot, and then you were home free. That was your major, rare buying opportunity that only comes around every 4 years. In this case, it seems to be coming around a little bit earlier, which, that would be kind of maybe the bearish case that, we're not quite there yet. Economy goes into recession, but I do think we're going to be okay, because look at this money flow right here. Getting deep, you basically are getting to the bottom, and your VWAP's coming up right here. You're about to get that green dot, that rare opportunity that only comes up every few years. And that could be the start of a nice run upward. Obviously, when this happens, Bitcoin dominance goes up. Altcoins, they do bottom out with Bitcoin, but they can, they come a little bit slower. So this is a time where Bitcoin is really the king.
Do you see anything happening to negate that green dot from appearing and maybe throwing everything off?
It would take something really bad. It would probably take kind of a black swan type thing. Maybe something crazy happens with Russia, other unforeseen events, bad recession. It would have to be something really bad. And even then, look at, if we do go into a recession, if we do come into a place where, people lose a lot of trust in stocks, and other things, they're going to be looking at gold, obviously. They're going to be looking at commodities, obviously. But what's the next thing to look at that's secure, decentralized? This is where Bitcoin could really come to shine. And there's a lot of people who have been talking about that. I think with the inflation, you could only put the Band-Aid on the bullet wound for so long. I don't think this tampering of interest rates is going to last that long as well. So I do think in all likelihood, we're getting close to the bottom here.
Okay. Yeah, dude. I mean, a lot of people, some people call for even like a 15K Bitcoin, even like lower than the, the average of the previous cycle highs. It's a trend
Right.
that Bitcoin has never broken. Some people are saying that this might be the first time to come around and we might break that trend. Like I said earlier before the show started, I personally am neutral, right? If we go lower, I'm super excited because I'm gonna be buying those lower levels. I'm not a trader. I DCA and I hodl for long term, and that's been working out for me since 2017. I know, and a lot of people don't believe that doesn't work that well. But if you just give enough time in the market, it will. So if we do go lower, super excited to buy up some more. If we start recovering on the way back up, I'm excited as well, right? Because if it goes up, we're all going to be making money one way or another, whether it's through trading or just hodling and riding the wave up. So you're saying we can go down to 24. Do you see that happening sometime soon? Or do you see this like market going sideways for a few more weeks, like last summer, where we were like sideways for like 2 months and didn't do anything until like the beginning of August, and then we had that breakout to the top? Do you see that happening, or do you just see like we're very close to the bottom? The next couple of weeks we could be breaking down, and then
I think that we're very close to the bottom, but if you look historically, once we hit the bottom, we may be sideways at those points for a bit. What I want to show you, kind of how to map it out, what I think is going to happen, and forgive me, a lot of lines right here, but this is interesting to look at. So we have a yellow X on the daily on Market Cipher, so this is very bearish. However, money flow is getting very deep into the red here. I think what's going to happen, and if you look at kind of historically what happens with these yellow X's, if you kind of map out usually what happens with these, could be much worse, it could be better. I think somewhere between a 14 to 20% dump around there to the actual bottom from this point. So
from where we're at right now,
from where we're at approximately. So 14% is 25. If you come down around 20%, and this is the last spiral line I have, it would be crazy if we hit off of this one, 23K. That's low 20s. That's enough to keep us above the previous bull market high. It's never gone below that. Everybody says every single time it's going to go below that. Everybody was calling for 1K when we were at 3K in 2018. Yes. So I still think we'll hold that. Who knows? Anything could happen, though. But I think it's going to be kind of gradual. Maybe something like this, scare everybody away, and then you gradually come back up. And if you map it out with the money flow, kind of like this. Another thing I want to show you is I think a very good signal here, and what I'll show you is kind of when these money flow crossovers happen on your 12-hour and you come back into the green here, I think that will signal the actual bottom because these have been in the red for a while. Also on the 4-hour right here, we got into the green in the 4-hour. Now we're coming back into the red. You could kind of guesstimate what's going to happen here. I think we're going to come back into the deep red one last time, maybe bottom out by the beginning of June. I hope it happens by the end of May because I've been saying buy in May at 24K for a few months now. So hope I get that prophecy right. But
you still got a few more days.
A few more days. That's what I'm hoping for. I hope we break down quickly. But I think it'll be kind of a percentage, kind of like this, something like this, maybe 20%, 15, 20%, to come back into the deep red here, 15, 20% downward, around these areas. This is a big pocket right here. We already bounced off of it once. You could kind of create somewhat of a double bottom pattern if you hit 24K again. 24K is a big area. And if you look at your higher time frames here, people say 20K because there's nothing really to latch on, in between 18K to where we are right now. But if you look at maybe let's zoom out on the daily right here, look right here. We have a lot of confluence at 24K, this little pocket. I hope you guys could see it. If I zoom in, here's the little place where we have a lot of confluence on. So that's one thing right here. Also for, people looking for a short-term trade, we're coming back into the, not yet, but we're getting close to coming back into the red on the hourly. So I'm going to be looking to do a potential short trade once we get into the red and the hourly here. I've been mainly doing all shorts lately. That's mainly what I've been looking at. And with, kind of like a risk reward ratio similar to this around a 1.0. and get us back down to around 28K. This would be somewhat of a nice trade once we get that confirmation. Also, 2-hour money flow crossover into the red. Great place to look for a short here. So yeah,
just quick reminder to everybody watching: smash the likes, guys. It takes you a quick second to smash the like, share out the live with somebody, drop a comment. Help us with we're bringing you crazy information here. We got Alvin here working his butt off, bringing you crazy TA. You can at least smash the likes, guys. Make sure you go follow him on his YouTube channel and his Twitter and his Instagram. The socials are down below in the description of the video, guys. Show some support for the man here. He's bringing you all this good information.
Yep, thanks.
So you're saying, so do you think you think we're gonna break down and it's gonna be, well, you were saying that we can actually be at 24 for a little bit when the market actually bottoms out?
I think it will be something like that.
It's not gonna be a quick wick.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit more in a quick wick. I think it could go either way. I mean, that's so hard to predict, kind of the sentiment, how people they just scoop up the low prices, will institutions come and just scoop it up real quick. That's tough to predict, but the main thing you want to realize is low 20s is where it becomes a really, really hot buy. And another thing I want to show you,
go ahead,
real quick. This is actually this isn't a very interesting thing on our 10-hour. These, if you guys aren't familiar with Market Cipher 8, look at these blood diamonds that keep appearing. These are extremely bearish. These are very bearish. So that's another reason why I don't think we hit the bottom just yet, and we're going to break down farther. So if you look at the reason I think it's going to be kind of sideways at the bottom and just a gradual recovery, not just a wick like this, is because that's what happened at the end of 2018. So I'm kind of basing it off that, but it could really go either way. I mean, you get something like this, maybe you pump up, it gets choppy, but I think you'll be gradually home free from that point.
So if you think Bitcoin's going to break down to 24 or low 20s, whatever it is, do you have any predictions? Are you looking at altcoins and where they could be headed? Like, let's say Ethereum, right? Where could Ethereum be headed if Bitcoin's headed down low? Since altcoins right now are feeling the pain already, and Bitcoin hasn't even dropped yet, right? Bitcoin's still just been going sideways.
I'm thinking around a little bit low, around 1600, maybe in the 15s, a bit higher than the previous bull market high, which is kind of the same as Bitcoin.
Ooh,
and Ethereum's
just right there.
Yeah, and Ethereum's not. Let me go on my Ethereum chart here. Ethereum, I don't consider it to be as an altcoin as much as it kind of used to be here, just because of the recognition, Vitalik, it's such a big market cap now. But, I think it's going to be gradually, kind of a repeat of something like this. This would bring us down another 22%, probably worst case scenario. I don't know if you'd come down another 40%, but at least another 20%, I kind of think from this point. So 20% down, around 1550 I'd be looking at. We do have a double bottom pattern kind of off of this big fib level, 6.5 fib level. But I think with the yellow X here, you're going to come down a bit farther. Maybe some hope at 1600. And if we zoom out a bit here to kind of see big points that we could clash onto, look kind of right here. You have some things right here, 16, but really right here. So these general areas, excuse me.
So, no worries. What? So you're not seeing any like sub 1,000 Ethereum?
I don't see it because I think with the market cap, with the trust in it now, I think it's more of a blue chip. So I don't see that happening. And we could look at two on the weekly, kind of the last time, or actually, the weekly. Look, you're getting very close to the red here. Last time we got into the red, this is where you get really scary. And you came down another 65%. But this is when Ethereum was viewed kind of like a Cardano, kind of like a lower coin. This is back then. It was a very different time. It didn't have the market cap it has now. I think you're going to be able to hold on pretty well. And if you look at this one didn't work right here. So if we get this kind of pattern, see our VWAPs coming up here, we repeat this brings us down. It's kind of a false hope with the green dot. But the way it's following Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin's already deep in the red. So if history is any indication here, Bitcoin, it's going to bottom out when Bitcoin bottoms out. Bitcoin may outperform it for a year or a few months at least, but I think it'll bottom out around the same time. And I think that's going to be sooner rather than later. That's my main view on it.
Yeah.
Also, we're looking at getting, a bullish divergence relatively soon. So if we come down here, and you got to realize, this daily is very, very deep in the red. Last time we were this deep in the red was December 2019. We came up a lot. This was your Black Swan event. You would have probably came up higher. So Also, right here, this was the bottom in December 2018. See how the money flow is this deep? And you can look on Bitcoin too. Money flow is this deep. So you're getting very close, I think, to at least a
Yeah.
local bottom.
I just want to let the people know 2019, right? If you were buying in the crash of 2019 or 2020, right, when the whole fog around the world started, people made tons of money, right? Tons of money from buying the fear, from buying when there was blood in the streets. If we're at those levels or we're close to those levels once again, that should be an indicator for people, right? For people that think that, hey, this is a scam, hey, it's never going to bounce back. That's what everyone has thought every single time before, and it's always proven those people wrong. And people have made tons of money. So obviously, it's never financial advice, but guys, 2 plus 2 does equal 4. So just make your own decisions, right? You're all right. So we've talked about bottoms, right? We've talked about where Bitcoin and Ethereum can be headed on the lower side. Where do you see Bitcoin and Ethereum going on the upside? So once we have this recovery, how far out do you think the recovery is going to be, and what kind of price points are you looking for?
So I'm looking for around 50K Bitcoin by the end of the year would be a good point. Around 50K,
Okay.
at least 40K. I think if we recover well, the NASDAQ recovers a bit. I think that's going to recover a bit as well. That doesn't mean that, we're going to go back up to all-time highs. People kind of get it twisted with bear markets sometimes. In bear markets, price could go in the bears get on their hind legs a lot. They get complicated. The bear comes down, then it gets on its hind legs. You have a recovery for a few months, then you come down farther. That could happen. But I think we're going to come back up. So I'm seeing Bitcoin going to around 50K. Ethereum, I think it'll lag behind a little bit and maybe the same general thing, but that could go well into the 2000s. I could see by the end of the year. So I think that's what'll happen into 2023. I mean, if history kind of repeats itself, you'll get a nice peak at 50K or something early 2023, and then you'll come down a bit from there. Maybe you'll retest 30K. So yeah, I don't think you're going to have the excitement that we saw in 2020 and 2021 for a few years now. And also market cap is huge. So I mean, I don't think
so you're not seeing any like new all-time highs anytime soon.
Not for a while,
not for a few more years.
Yeah, especially with altcoins. Yeah. Unless something crazy happens. I mean, unless things get really crazy and there's a lot of fear and a lot of people, put money into Bitcoin as that trustworthy asset. If inflation gets really crazy, there could be that turning point. But, in all likelihood, it probably will not happen. So I give it a few years. But in terms of, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. In terms of what?
In terms of a long-term buying opportunity, I mean, I think, when looking at, what we got. So last market cycle with Bitcoin, you got about a 20x. Market cycle before that, you got about 100x. I think you could get a 5x into the next market cycle. So if we bottom out at 24, 25, you'd get up to at least 120K, I think, by, 2025, 2024.
So you think that's like the top of the next bull cycle?
Yeah, probably
a little bit over 100.
I'm not one of those people who think we're going to go to $1 million by 2030. I think it could be half of that, 400K, 500K, something like that. But you got to realize, I mean, market cap's really high, and the main predictions people have, everybody thought 100K this market cycle. They were pretty far off. Obviously, it got knocked down pretty hard at 69K. So I'm more of a conservative predictor now. I used to be more of a moon boy, but I've kind of, as studying it more and more, kind of got to my senses a little bit. But yeah.
So do you think that the 4-year cycle is broken and extended cycle theory is possible, or do you think no extended cycle, 4 years continues? It has not been broken, and we're just going to continue in the 4 years.
I think it's something like that. I mean, I think it's kind of it cycle length, and some cycles could be, I mean, it depends how you define broken. I mean, the next cycle could be longer, definitely. I think it's kind of, it goes on what the NASDAQ is doing now. So it still is 4-year cycles, but it's that, but it has a lot of variables based on other things. That's what I'm going to say. Sometimes it could be shorter, sometimes it could be longer. It eventually will probably act more like the stock market at some point and just gradually go up as time goes on, I think. But I don't think we're anywhere near that.
So to that point, right, you've mentioned that a few times about it being close to the NASDAQ and, the stocks. Do you think that will allow Bitcoin to be more easily manipulated in price action, right? If all the institutional investors are watching the same charts and it's kind of following these same patterns, do you think it's going to be easier for them to manipulate Bitcoin's price that way?
Yeah, a little bit, but there's always going to be, that type of, people saying that. Look, I mean, you got to take accountability. If you buy at the wrong price and it goes down, you need to take accountability. You can't just
No,
blame
definitely.
institutions or other figures. So I don't like to think about that too much. But there's always going to be. I mean, it's on the radar. It's everybody knows about it now. It's basically value investing at this point. Bitcoin, I wouldn't even consider it kind of venture capitalism. Bitcoin and ETH would both be value investing because the odds that it will stand the test of time and just keep going up are just so high. It's probably a 97% chance at this point, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah, there's a pattern out there. There's like something that I forget what it's called, but
Yeah.
basically the longer you last in something, the more likely you're going to
Yeah.
continue lasting in that market. It has a term. I don't remember it off the top of my head right now, but yeah, I do think that Bitcoin has proven itself in the test of time, proven itself. People are saying that it hasn't proven itself in a recession, and we're possibly headed in there. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about how do you think Bitcoin is going to react if we are headed into a recession with the price points that you're looking for? Do you still think your price points are going to, well navigated with that recession in fact factored in, or do you think that the recession will throw things off?
So I think, in terms of a recession, look, it could go. I don't think it's gonna mess things. I don't, even if we do enter a recession here. I mean, what people got to realize is there's a lot of recessions that aren't as bad as '08. We're used to '08 or 2000 where it comes down, it's just terrible and comes down 50%, the S&P 500 over multiple years. It could be a lot better than that. Also, I think with all the money printed, I mean, you could mess around with it a little bit with, raising interest rates, but I think even if you do enter a recession, things, that inflation's going to come back to eat you eventually to get you. So I do think most likely it will go up. If we do enter a recession, I mean, people will be looking at other assets to put money into aside from, equities once they give up on that. If things get real bad, gold obviously will probably do well, but the other thing people are going to be looking at is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So there is a possibility a recession could possibly help it, especially since it's so decentralized around the world, all that. I mean, there's a lot of positives here.
Yeah, I definitely believe that people will definitely be seeing
Yeah.
as equities, right? Equities, people have always thought that they're going to invest, they're going to make it into their 401ks, they're going to retire rich if they just max out their 401ks and put all their money into the stock market. But do you want to really wait to when you're retired to enjoy the last 10 to 15 years of your life rich,
Right.
right? Along with the amount of inflation and things that are happening, I think people are starting to see that Bitcoin cryptocurrencies are the way to make that extra money a little bit quicker with a way better performing asset. I mean, it was the best performing asset last decade. I think
Mhm.
that title will remain this decade. I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. Just equities can't compete with what crypto markets are doing because the crypto markets are so new. There's such an emerging
Right.
technology that it's astronomical where it's headed, right? We're still just scratching the surface of what cryptocurrencies can do and the value that they bring to the world. People are just starting to discover that. So once that is more seeped into humanity and people understand what cryptocurrencies are, what smart programmable money is, I think the value is just going to astronomically continue to increase.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it just in terms of like sentiment, what I hear from people in general, like everybody's telling me like Bitcoin's down, you know what I mean? Are you okay? It's down. And I'm like, well, it's really not down that much. I mean, it was at 3,000 just a couple of years ago. It's still up almost 10x from what it was. It's not really down. Like if it was at 2,000 right now, yeah, that's down. That's where you got something to worry about, or if it's under 10K, but it's not that
Yeah,
bad
man. And
considering.
like a lot of people, right, that I speak to in my day-to-day life, is like every time Bitcoin is high up, they're asking me what they need to buy. But when Bitcoin comes down, like it has right now, they're like, and I tell them, hey, my dude, probably a great time to start doing some research and looking into what kind of portfolio you want to build since the market
Right.
is down. Oh no, dude, that thing's trash, right? Look, it's down. But every single time they're proven wrong because they only want to buy on green days. They only want to chase green candles. They're not understanding the fundamentals of what these cryptocurrencies are doing. And it's like, man, it's just the same mistake over and over and over.
Yeah, that's the biggest mistake people make, I think, because people don't realize that when it crashes, it never crashes lower than it was 4 years ago, unless we go over 20K, under 20K here. You know what I'm saying? That's never happened. And that's kind of the mistake I made in the beginning with it back in, when I first found out about it in 2014, 2015. And, I bought a bunch at $200 and sold it all at $1,000 thinking I was a genius. I would have got another 20X out of that if I waited. I mean, I didn't realize, and then when I was getting back into it and when I first got real serious, when I started to realize, okay, it trends up with time in like September, October 2020, it was up, getting up a little bit and I was buying it. Everybody was telling me, look, it's going to crash. It's going to crash. It always crashes. And I'm like, yeah, it'll crash, but not yet. After the bull runs over, it'll crash.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Everybody buys a local bottom. Even if you buy, let's just say this again. If somebody buys the local high of Bitcoin, right? The people that bought 19K Bitcoin back in 2017, we're way past that now, right? We went all the way to 69K. So even if they bought, if they would have just held and kept learning about what Bitcoin is, they would have been proven correct, right? People that bought 69K right now are hurting, and hopefully they haven't panic sold. But if they did, or if they haven't, I should say, and you're holding, that 69K is going to become a local bottom at some point. We're gonna pass that, we're probably never gonna go below 69K at some point in the future once again, just how we've done with 19K. So it's all about being time in the market, and the longer you're inside these bear markets, the bear markets is where people learn the most, or at least where they should be learning the most, because that's when the markets are boring, right? Nobody's really putting money in or out. You're not trading that often. So if you're a beginner, the bear markets is where you're going to set yourself up for success for the next bull market. The bull markets can make you rich, but the bear markets will make you wealthy when you accumulate, because it's about accumulation slowly over time. Not everybody has thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to put in all at once to make like a big trade or whatever, or just most people are not traders in general. Small amounts over long periods of time will help you accumulate and will help you create a big enough portfolio, just like your 401ks, right? You put a little bit every day or every paycheck to slowly grow. It's just crypto grows exponentially. And now even crypto and Bitcoin is being put into 401ks. So that just shows you where the mindset is for institutional investors and where Bitcoin is. So, dude, I have a question for you. Is there any altcoin that you're really looking at, let's say in the top 50 coins? Does not get crazy wild of like a, crazy wild random altcoin. Top 50 altcoins that you're looking at that you think has great potential, right? Like we've seen Polkadot, it's down below $10. We've seen Chainlink also down below $10. But those are the kind of like top tier altcoins that everybody kind of knows. Is there anything else in the top 50 that you think is like, hey, this is great opportunity?
Yeah, there's two that I really like, and my main view on altcoins, just to to really make a fortune with them, I think you're going to need something that is a sub. There's a market cap lower than Dogecoin. It's about a sub $10 billion market cap. I really like Atom, and there's a few reasons why. One, it's a great project, and number two, you can earn a lot of interest on it. And people don't really understand the effects of compound interest, especially when you hold something for 5 years.
Explain that. Explain how people can earn compounding interest with Atom.
Right. So you could stake it. On Kraken, there's a good way to stake Atom. I also like I stake mine in the Exodus wallet because you could hook up a ledger or a Trezor with it, and it's more secure on there. And I believe you could get in the double digits in interest. I believe it's at least 9 or 10% or something. It changes every so often, but you could stake Atom a lot. I've been in Atom since the beginning of the last bull run, since $5, and I've earned a lot of interest on it. I think that's a great project. I think there's a lot of bang for your buck on it. However, with altcoins, there's always a chance they could go to zero. The only two coins I would be 100% or 98% chance that they're not going to zero is Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. So with altcoins, you got to spread it out. I mean, Polkadot I love, Avalanche I love, and these are Polkadot. You can earn a lot of interest on Kraken too. And I think if you can earn interest on your altcoins and you can stake them securely, with a hardware wallet or on the exchange, set up two-factor authentication, know what you're doing. Obviously, don't be stupid. But I think if these altcoins stand the test of time, the staking and all those those things to earn DeFi, that'll stand the test of time too. So that's why I always try to earn interest on them. One smaller cap I really like, I believe it's at $1 billion market cap, maybe even less, Zcash. I think there's going to be one of those privacy tokens that's going to stand the test of time, be around in 5 years. One, it's backed by the Winklevoss twins. Two, obviously, the fundamentals, privacy tokens, especially what's going on against oppressive governments. If things get really bad, that could be huge. And then another one, Filecoin, I really like. I think there's going to be at least one that stands the test of time for file storage. So I think there's definitely potential there. But these altcoins, I mean, it's never more than 20% of my total crypto portfolio. I would say with altcoins, it's money I'm comfortable losing. But what I will bet with that 20% of my crypto portfolio, I'll bet at least one of them is going to be around in 5 years. But it's okay if all the others go to zero, because that one that's going to be around in 5 years, it's going to be probably 100x. You know what I'm saying? So it'll make up for all the rest.
So I'm glad you brought up Zcash. Nick and I have been talking about it on the show before about privacy coins, and I honestly do believe, right? You brought up the tiring governments, right? Overreach. And people wanted to become more privacy. I think that there is a bad taste in people's mouth in the cryptocurrency world. And I think it's been done on purpose to navigate people away from privacy and more into transparency, right? Like I like that the blockchain is transparent. You don't have to trust, you can verify. But at the same time, we need a good balance of privacy mixed into the blockchain, because if everything is transparent at all times, no matter what, that's not that great for the average person, right? The average, not because of any illicit activities that we've been programmed to think, oh, if you're hiding something, it's because it's an illicit activity, you're doing something bad. No, privacy is a right that people have. There's no reason why some people need to have, right? Just like when you're on Venmo, right? You can make a transaction public, or you can make that transaction private so that nobody knows that you're sending money here or there, because nobody needs to know. If you want them to know, sure, why not? No big deal. But if I don't want them to know, and it's not illegal, I shouldn't feel bad, or there should not be a negative connotation for me to want privacy. So I think that in the future, privacy coins are going to be the next big target by governments, and there's going to be a war between the cryptocurrencies that exist and gonna fall under regulation just to continue to compete and be able to produce products in the United States government and other governments around. And the people that want that privacy and want to jump into these privacy coins, I think it's going to be hard for them to get into it if you don't do your research, because I think they're going to get delisted from a lot of centralized exchanges, and people are going to have to learn how to jump onto decentralized exchanges, learn how to get onto these private networks and get privacy coins. And I do think there's going to be some type of war and a lot of drama between the privacy and the transparency of blockchain.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's really the plan. I mean, if you have some Zcash on a hardware wallet, that would be, in a doomsday scenario, that would be a good idea. Obviously.
Yeah, dude. And also, a lot of people might not know this, but with Bitcoin and Monero, you can interchange Bitcoin and Monero. It has a feature, and you can make your Bitcoin into Monero privately on chain, and that way you can mask your. And it's not a taxable event, because it's literally it's a swapping mechanism that's built in, so it's not really, you're not selling anything for anything, and you can change it into Monero, do whatever you got to do, send it wherever you want, and then when it gets back to whatever wallet you want to, you can switch it back into Bitcoin, and boom, you had privacy in the transaction layer, and then you still have your Bitcoin at the end of the day. So that's a way of people using privacy. So I definitely believe people need to learn more about privacy, definitely push for more privacy in the blockchain, because nonetheless, the governments, when they bring out the CBDCs, when they bring out their cryptos, whatever it is, they're gonna have privacy on their end. So if they're gonna have privacy, we better have privacy as well. If nobody's getting privacy, then okay, fine, nobody gets privacy. But this one-sided thing, I think people need to stand up and start waking up to what's happening. So I had a question for you as well. About you're saying about 20% of your portfolio. Do you have a HODL portfolio and a trading portfolio, or do you strictly just have a trading portfolio?
Yeah, it's all spread out. I mean, what I will say is, obviously, depending on how, if you're not an experienced trader just trying to get into it, obviously it should be a very small percentage. in general, I would keep things, even if you're a big trader, keep things, spread out on exchanges, because obviously, God forbid, if one goes down, it's not the end of the world if you're spread out on, 5, 6 different exchanges. But if you have all your eggs in one basket in one area, I would say, spread out. So even if you're a big, really good trader, somebody like me who's really, really into TA and trading, I still spread it out between different exchanges. And I move things from the trading, profits from the trading portfolio into my hardware wallet, into my other exchanges to spread it out. So, I mean, in terms of what I do, it fluctuates. Sometimes 20%, is in my trading portfolio, sometimes even 40, 50%, but that's kind of crazy, to be careful. I don't, I do more, I'm more, I like to do riskier stuff, but especially for somebody starting out.
Yeah, dude, that's great advice, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people think that they just start. A lot of new people in crypto, they jump straight into the trading and they don't even build a hodl portfolio, right? That they dollar cost averaging, and then they lose a lot of money and they exit the crypto markets with a bad taste in their mouth. A lot of other people just do dollar cost averaging and they never even try to test their skills at trading. And I know it's very difficult. It takes a lot of skills and a lot of dedication to learn and be able to grasp those skills. But if you put enough effort in and you can do it, it could definitely change your life. I know a lot of people have changed their lives through trading. So I definitely recommend people to try to have both, a little bit of a trading portfolio if you're not great at it just yet, and then definitely a dollar cost averaging long-term investment portfolio. Guys, if you haven't smashed the likes yet, what are you waiting for? Smash the likes, share out the live. Make sure you go follow Evan on his channel, on Twitter, on Instagram, and also join the Discord, guys. Danger Close Alpha. Join the movement. Get ready. Get prepared. Victory favors the prepared, my friends. If you're not ready for what's coming, it's going to hit you in the back of the head like a I'm not going to say that. I was going to take it somewhere else. So definitely join the Discord, guys. We're going to be doing more Twitter spaces for Danger Close Alpha. All the info is going to be in the Discord at first. So make sure you're joining the Discord, join the Twitter spaces, show us some support with Danger Close Alpha. We're going to bring you guys a lot of utility to what is happening in the NFT space. And we're going to be changing the game for the NFT space in real life utility, right? We're not talking about the metaverse. Your metaverse character will not save you when the shit hits the fan. So definitely join Danger Close Alpha. Evan, any last words before we close it out?
What I will say, one thing, it seems like there's a lot of peak fear right now, like we were saying before. So, I mean, long term, it's obviously a great buying opportunity, in my opinion. You may not get the exact bottom here, but you're going to be close, I think. In terms of trading versus long term, because I'm, a big trading channel, you got to realize, long term or just DCAing, and that's a passive income. You kind of just do it. It's very easy to set up. Trading is active income. Trading is, you're actively there. So if you're just somebody who, wants a true passive income, that's more about staking or more about setting things up. Trading's a little bit more involved. So you can trade, and hodl, but when you're trading, ultimately the goal in life, passive income, enough to sustain yourself, be financially free. I don't know if I would consider like trading. It's too active, too much work to be considered just a passive income type thing.
Yeah.
So
100%.
The goal would be to take profits from trading and put them into more passive income type streams, I would say. So
yeah, dude, I completely agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the TA. I hope you guys kind of agree with my analysis while we're getting close to the bottom here. If you don't, that's cool too. Comment down below. Always like to debate people.
Make sure, guys, make sure you follow him on his
Yeah.
Twitter, on his YouTube. Check out his TA. Great tape, man. Thank you for coming on the show for TA Thursday. And everybody, like always, question everything, trust nothing. And until next time, hodl like it's
Thanks so much for having me.
No worries. That was a pleasure.